It is an absolutely beautiful day out today here in the greenhouses at Garden Crossings. So I thought I'd go for a walk and just see what's blooming. It's been a while since I've actually just kind of walked and toured through the greenhouses. So you will be seeing some of these blooms for the very first time, as well as myself. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and let's check out what's blooming. We're going to start off right here kind of behind my office. This is a beautiful block of annuals that we have set aside for some of the different container combinations that we'll be putting together. These were planted in our first week of planting and are definitely starting to really show some beautiful color. The thing I always think is kind of fun when we do this is when these plants are set down, they're not really set down in any rhyme or reason of order based off of the combinations that will be put together. But sometimes, just the way they're placed here on the floor, you see some naturally beautiful things that could be planted together that aren't even part of our plan. So let's go in and take a look here at some of the things that are blooming. Here's a beautiful pairing of plants. We have the raspberry superbena planted next to the supertunia saffron finch, and then you can see the beautiful Bermuda beech there. That's not an actual combination, but I don't know about you, but I think that would look pretty cool together. And the new saffron finch is such a beautiful yellow petunia. Oh, I am just absolutely in love with that. And out in our garden center, we are using it in so many different of our basket combinations. Beautiful coleus here kind of popping. This one here is the Coleus albrido. Again, that was a new one, I think a year or two ago. And we have used a lot of that in our combinations because it's just such a beautiful, vibrant color of coleus. Another popular petunia from last year was the persimmon. And here's the block of persimmon. I'll try to go in here closer to some of the blooms. A nice kind of a peachy pink with a yellow. Excellent combination. It actually looks pretty nice here next to this grape punch. And on the other side is the black currant punch. Even the white hippo polka dot plant makes a pretty nice mix of color. So of course annuals always give you that beautiful pop of color that you're expecting. And it's easy to show annual color because it's just one of the first things to show blooms here in the greenhouse. But we're going to head out towards the perennials and the shrubs because I think there's got to be some cool perennials and shrubs that are blooming right now. I know Rod was here this weekend and he had sent me actually over a picture of the new primula. So I'm excited to show you that. So let's go take a look. As we're heading out towards the primula, I thought I might as well show you the perennials that are growing out in this greenhouse. So things are just starting to kind of pop dormancy and getting a little bit of foliage on them. So this is always a fun time of year as we are slowly starting to watch the plants wake up. You can see the heuchera there. They're always nicely in color because they're more of an evergreen type perennial. Actually, I think these are some heuchera and some heucherella there. Menard is waking up. Oh, the Amsonia. We're going to go over there in a minute because I got to show you the beautiful dark stems. So hang tight. We'll be over there as soon as we're done looking at the primula. Have you ever seen a more beautiful plant? Look at that mound of flowers. Like you can't even see the foliage. This is the Bouquet Perfect Blue Ripples Primula. This is a new variety from Proven Winners this year. And it's compact, only about 5 to 8 inches tall. And it creates this beautiful mounding habit. It's hardy in zones 4 to 8. And this is a great plant to really start adding that spring color into the garden. Nice little border plant. So beautiful. I said to Rod after he sent me a picture of this the other day that I have got to get some of these on order for my own garden because I don't have any primula, and this is definitely going to be a beautiful just welcome to the garden in the spring type of plant. This one's not blooming yet, but sometimes I think it is equally as pretty to watch as the plants start to wake up in the spring. This here is a dicentra or bleeding heart called Valentine. Look at that nice kind of deep dark olive foliage. It's so pretty to watch plants when they're starting to come out of dormancy and just start to show signs of life. Speaking of plants emerging in the spring, Amsonia storm cloud has got to be one of my favorites. As these little stems start appearing, they have near black foliage. It might be kind of hard to tell here, or near black stems, I guess. It might be kind of hard to tell here in the greenhouse with the lighting, but this plant is just so beautiful when it comes out of the ground in the spring. It does get beautiful periwinkle blooms also, so it's a nice early season color to add to the garden. And I'm going to try to pop up some pictures actually that I've gotten out in the gardens just to show you how beautiful it is before it starts to bloom. One thing that I think is very important to tell you is if you have any hardy hibiscus in your garden or rose mallow, they may look like this right now. That's if you've trimmed them in the fall. Otherwise, just imagine these sticks being taller. This is one of the last plants that's going to emerge in the spring. So if it's a month or so after all of your other plants are emerging and your plant still looks like this, don't worry, it's perfectly normal. It's going to be one of the last ones to show growth. And let's talk about that growth. You are not going to see any growth off of those brown twigs. Those are dead. This is a perennial, and perennials come back from the ground. They do not come back from any old growth. So any new growth you start seeing is going to be emerging from the soil level. So just keep that in mind when you are patiently waiting for your hardy hibiscus to emerge. Once they do, they're going to go to town and actually give you flowers about 2 months after they break through the soil. Did somebody say flowering quince? Oh my goodness, these are so beautiful. We'll go in and take a closer look. We've got double orange, we've got double take orange, double take scarlet, eternal white, and double take peach. It's so pretty to watch these quince as they form their little buds and then as the buds begin to open. So let's go in and take a closer look here. This is the peach. Just you can see the beautiful little buds emerging. Some flowers. Gorgeous blooms. Double take eternal white is a newer variety. You see beautiful white blooms. The buds just lining the stems. This is the longest blooming flowering quince on the market. So if you're looking to have quince flowers for longer into the season, double take eternal white would be the one you'd want to go after. And then how about this double take scarlet? Look at those beautiful deep red blooms. We go in and find some flowers. Beautiful color. And with the sun out, I think that just makes everything just smile a little bit prettier. We're going to get in here. Look at that. Look at all those flowers. And the last one we have here is the double take orange. Again, another beautiful color. These quince are thornless, so you don't need to worry about anything poking you when you're working with them in the garden. They bloom from tip to toe, meaning you get buds all the way up the stems to the beautiful spring blooms of the flowering quince. It won't be long and we'll be able to be showing you the blooms of the bloomerang dark purple lilacs. Look at all of these buds that are being formed. Man, once these start to flower, this is going to be one of those situations where I wish I could do the scratch and sniff through the video because it smells so beautiful when the lilacs all come into bloom. One thing you'll notice here at Garden Crossings is that we grow all of our plants inside. All of our annuals, all of our perennials, and all of our shrubs are all greenhouse grown. And the reason we do that, number one, is because we're located in Michigan, so it's kind of colder here. And so by growing them inside in these greenhouses, we are able to kind of wake the plants up a little earlier so that we can ship them sooner to you. But more the bigger reason is because we feel that by growing these plants in these greenhouses, they just have a better presentation when they ship to you. They're cleaner, the leaves are nicer, there's not the bugs that you'll see if the plants are grown outside. So we just feel that we're able to ship you a better product by having it in these greenhouses, being greenhouse grown. So let's continue and take a look to see what else we might see blooming here today. In addition to all these beautiful things that are blooming right now, I am out in our shrub house. This is our quart shrub house, where the team is getting all of our quarts prepped and ready for shipping on March 25th. So over the last 3 weeks, we've gotten large shipments in of all of our quart shrubs that weigh our lines are all stacked and ready for when shipping begins. So when the shrubs come in, the team is going through them, obviously checking them off a list to make sure we've gotten everything that we were supposed to get. Then they go through and do any trimming, if any trimming is needed, cleaning them out. And when we mention cleaning them out, when we get all of our shrubs in, they all have this rice hull on them, which helps keep the weeds at bay. We do not like to keep the rice hull on here because it just makes a total and complete mess in the greenhouse. And when we're shipping them out, can you imagine if all of this is like sitting in the bottom of your box? What a mess that is. So the team goes through and cleans all that off. We are shipping these shrubs out so quickly that we don't really have to worry about any weeds or anything getting in them. So they replace all that rice hull with soil to make sure that your plant is nice and full in a pot of soil there. You can see here's a whole garbage bin that's all full of rice hull. So they just go through, she took all the rice hull off and now she's replacing it with soil, which is more valuable to that plant, especially once it gets into your garden. So these are a bunch of evergreens here on this rack. So what we do with our shrubs is they are all laid out on the floor alphabetically and numerically, which the numeric system is just part of what we use for when we're shipping. But every plant is set out on the floor, given a number, and when we come out to do shipping, we know that people can really easily identify numbers, or sometimes reading tags can be confusing, especially if there's a series. So if you're talking like Oh So Easy roses, there may be 6 or 7 roses in that series, so it's easier for them to identify the number as they're out here pulling the plants for shipment. So I love this time of year when the rows are all straight and everything's nice and clean. You can see obviously they got more of these coming in because these rows aren't full yet. So ideally when they come in, they're going to look more full like the rows you're seeing over here. Just look at all that color. Some things are still dormant, some things are just starting to wake up, and other things are quite alive. Look at these clematis. They're 18 inches tall already. So those will get trimmed before they ship out because we don't want to be shipping anything quite that big. But over here too, just so much color. You see the barberry from a distance. There's so many plants that are just so easily identifiable just from a distance based off of their foliage color. Barberry Neo and Orange Pillar, Mini Saffron. So many pretty colors. In addition to the Proven Winners brand, we're also carrying a Bloomables brand of perennials this year. So this is a logo you might start seeing out there. And these are some of our friends at Ball. They have a Bloomables program of perennials that they put together. And a lot of these are more your popular varieties that are seen in the garden. Also plants that do very well and are reliable. So we're excited to bring you the Bloomable series of perennials this year as well. Over the last 2 weeks, the team has moved all of these perennials that are in gallons over into what we call Greenhouse 11, which will be their final home until they are shipped out to your homes. This year we have grown a lot more varieties in the gallon size. So if you are somebody that has been looking for larger size perennials, we have put up a ton more in the gallons this year. Just to kind of, you've asked, we're delivering the bigger size plants. So if you're seeing something you like and you're looking for a bigger size option, it may be available. So many beautiful daylilies just starting to emerge. The hostas are just starting to crack dormancy, which is perfect for this time of year. And we're going to actually end down here at the end with just this sea of beautiful color. So heuchera are corabels. If you're looking to add just beautiful foliage color into the garden, corabels is a great way to go. Look at all of this beautiful color. Thanks for walking with me through the greenhouse today, checking out what's blooming and what the team is currently up to. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.